Good afternoon. My name is Mike Scanlon, City Manager for the City of Osawatomie, Kansas, and today is June 4th, and this is my weekly update. Shout out to Chance, to Trevor, to Dave Ellis for their help this morning as we cleaned out the brush on the south side of South Street between 12th and 10th. We collected about 1.5 tons of tires, couches, seats from vans, diapers, 4 or 5 trash bags of bottles and cans. If you've ever wanted to know where all the plastic bottles collect in Osawatomie, it's along that ditch on South Street between 10th and 11th. Again, thank you for all your work. Really appreciated your effort. Next, a special thanks to the Committee of Landlords, specifically Sudan Bradley, Tracy Peterson, Doug Hensley, Ron Dowd, David Madden, Joy Rivas, Owen Waddle, and Kristen Hensley for all of their work. Without their efforts, we wouldn't have what I think is going to be one of the best landlord home beautification, home safety programs in the state of Kansas. They have put their heart into this, and they want this to be a community that not only they are proud of in terms of the properties they own and the residents that they're able to establish here in their homes, but you as a homeowner will be proud of what the landlords have been able to accomplish. On June 24th, I'll be making a presentation to the City Council. If you're interested in seeing what they've come up with in terms of their compliance guidelines, in terms of their willingness to help us beautify our community and especially our rental property, make sure you take some time to come by on June 24th at 6:30 p.m. and that will be our second council meeting in June. Next, if you remember, we had the 5 goals I talked about 2 weeks ago. 1, clean up your community. 2, housing of all type. 3, economic development. 4, streets and street repairs, and then maintaining the infrastructure. We've already talked about clean the community up in streets, and today what we're going to talk about is economic development. And sort of what does economic development mean? I will tell you, having been in this profession for now almost 30 years, economic development isn't chasing the one big thing. It tends to be growing those businesses that are successful in your community, then identifying where you have missing pieces in your community, and then finding either a local entrepreneur, small business owner, or someone else that can help fill that need. If you look at our downtown corridor, about half of the business fronts are full, about half of them are empty. So as we look to identify those businesses that we think can be successful in helping that downtown corridor, we're trying to look for those missing pieces. For us, as you look at rural downtown corridors and how they've achieved success over time, it's always finding those local business owners that are willing to take a business on. And that usually requires angel investors. So people in our community that want to help a small business get started or grow what they have. I'll also tell you that our Northland properties, which I'm sure you've heard about over the last 15 years, which were given to us by the state of Kansas, holds probably some of the best economic opportunities in terms of economic development. One, the land is owned by the city, so we can contribute it to a project, but it has to be the right project. It has to be a project that in some way benefits the entire community, not just the specific business that might be able to build something on that land. So it's thinking about how you create economic development opportunities that raise the tide. If you raise the tide, all boats rise, and that's the goal of economic development. So that's the economic development piece that's in our set of 5 goals. The last thing that I would tell you is you're going to start seeing us make some improvements on South Street. I talked a little bit about cleaning it up. But that's a natural connection to our downtown. It's taking that Flint Hills Trail, which is roughly at 14th Street and south, and then extending it to the east, and then tying it into 8th and then back into the downtown. It takes out a lot of those hills that some riders would like to avoid, And I think we can create a great front door by using South Street and 8th Street to get to our downtown. So that's it. I look forward to talking to you next week. Next week, we'll talk a little bit about housing of all types, some of the housing developments and housing projects we're working with in terms of local developers, local builders, and then some of those that we see on the horizon that could benefit all of our community. So with that, have a great weekend.